I'm Susie from Billy50 and today I'm going to be showing you how to download, cut and print a PDF pattern. If you'd like to see how I did this, stay tuned. Today I'm going to be showing you how to download, save, cut and piece together a PDF pattern. Now a PDF pattern is probably one of the most fantastic things that's ever happened to sewing. Instead of having to go out to a store, buy a pattern, get all those pieces of paper and cut out all the multiple sizes and trace and do all those things, that's always been probably the thing I hate most about sewing. So PDF patterns has really been a godsend. So we are going to navigate to the website to buy the PDF pattern. So we're just going to write billy50.com.au, click on the link, and then on the Billy50 website we're going to go to sewing patterns, and in this case we're going to be buying the Ruth handbag pattern. So just click on that one and it'll bring you to this page. So it's telling us that it's a Ruth handbag pattern, it's PDF, and it's also telling us that all prices are in Australian dollars and will be converted to your local currency upon checkout. But we're in Australia here, so there will be no conversion. Okay, buy now. Now you'll be taken to the checkout page. You can become a website member and log in for faster checkout if you want to buy more patterns in the future, or you can pay with PayPal. Now when you go to PayPal, you can either choose to log into a PayPal account, or it'll ask you whether you just want to pay with your credit card and not register with anything. So go ahead and do that and fill out your billing details, click continue, and then you'll be taken to the page for your payment. And then once your payment's gone through, you'll be taken to this page, which is just, you'll receive an email confirmation, but this is saying that you have purchased the pattern. So if I click here on this link, it's going to go to my downloads, which is up here. See, Ruth Handbag by Billy50. It's now downloading. Then we're going to navigate to where it says Ruth Handbag. Now we're going to double click that, and here we have it. Okay, let's get rid of that. All right, now we need to print it. So you can see that all the pieces are there, and if you keep scrolling down you'll see pattern pieces. Now let's press print, file, print. And this is the important part. See here where it says scale. In that grayed out area it says 97%. That means it's not full size. So I'm going to press 100%. And then I'm going to press print. So it needs to be 100%, or it needs to say actual size. I'm not sure what it'll say on your screen, but it's going to print all of this out now at 100%. So you hit print and you get your pieces. Something else that's always on your patterns, or should be on your patterns, is the test square, the size test square. So for instance with this one, we've actually got, let's zoom in so you can see. So with this one, we've got a 1 inch test square. So after we've printed our pattern, I can just go and check, and it's exactly 1 inch. So I know that all of these pattern pieces have printed correctly. We've got our pattern here, and each page just describes what happens, how to construct the actual garment or bag or purse or whatever it is that you're making. And then at the back we find this, which is your pattern pieces. Now obviously this is an A4 print, as I showed you before, and it should have printed out at 100% or actual size. And then all we're going to do is cut out each of these pieces. Where do I cut? Do I cut on the inside? Do I cut on the line? Do I cut on the outside? As a rule of thumb, I always cut on the outside of the black line. Now, it doesn't matter if you cut on the inside, doesn't matter if you cut on the outside or the center, but what does matter is that you cut each of them the same. So if you're cutting the first pattern piece on the outside, then you need to make sure you're cutting the second piece on the outside of the line, or else you're going to get different sizes. And I know it might only be a few millimeters, but sometimes a few millimeters is actually a big deal. So just take your time when you are cutting your pieces using your paper scissors, not your fabric scissors, because the more accurate you get this, the more accurate you're going to cut your actual pieces of fabric. Because if you slip up and change the shape of any of the pieces at all, it could be a big disaster later on. Now, piecing together your pattern is pretty simple, and most patterns have either numbers or letters to join them all together. So you'll see here, we've got the letter A and the letter A, so we know that they go together. We've got the letter B that goes there, and this one should have a B and a C, so we know that goes there. So that is the shape of our pattern piece. Now what we want to do is stick them all together. So let's get our sticky tape. Now we're going to laminate these as well. So depending on the size of your laminator, that'll determine how you laminate these. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick these two together, those two together. I'm going to laminate both pieces, cut them out, and then I'm going to stick those two pieces together. I've turned my laminator on while I'm doing this so it can heat up. I put just a little piece of tape there first, and then a longer piece. Turn it over. I always put a piece on the back too. I probably don't need to, but I do. And then the same again on this side. Matching up the edges. And again, a little piece on the back. I'm using an A3 laminator. I found that the A4 laminator was just too small for all the pieces I was doing all the time. But if you do have an A4 laminator, that's fine. You can piece them together. Laminate the pieces first and then join them all together. It's up to you, but this is the way I do it. Okay, once we've got our laminators all warmed up, so we're going to put our pieces through. Whenever I'm doing a pattern print, I always print the cover again, and I print it at about 50%, and I cut that out, I laminate it, and I keep that with the pattern pieces so I know which pattern pieces are for which pattern. Wait, are you liking this video? Then you need to stop and subscribe right now. Stop, whatever, I know you're watching me, but that doesn't matter. Press the subscribe button. That way you get to see more tips and tricks. Now, remember these two pieces that we did earlier? They need to be stuck together because that's how the pattern piece goes. So, I'm going to take my sticky tape now, I'm going to match them up. And then I'm going to sticky tape all the way down the center. And I'm also going to sticky tape the back again to make sure they stay together. Okay, now we have our front cover. And we have our two pattern pieces that we need. I am going to take a hole punch and I'm going to punch a hole in the top. And the bottom of this one. And now, when I want to store them, I just got some rings from the $2 shop, the local shop. And I'm going to put these on. And there you have it. All my pieces are now stuck together. So it's going to be really easy to find, and then I can actually hang them up. And that is how I store my patterns. So now, anytime I want a pattern, I can just come along. I can see, oh, that's that one. Oh, look, there's that one. And then I just take the ring off, and I know I've got all the right pattern pieces for that particular pattern. Well, you'll always have the right pattern pieces together as long as you put them away together. Because if you're like me and you put a piece here and a piece there and a piece there, then you're forever looking. You can write on the front of this. So this pattern, I know there's only two pieces. So I can put two. So now I know that when I pick this pattern up, there should be two pieces there. And if there's not, I know something's missing and I can refer back to the actual printed pattern. Now with the printed pattern, you can go ahead and laminate each of these pages if you like and hang it with the pattern so your instructions are always there. If you don't need to refer to your instructions every single time, then you can just hole punch them and put them in a folder. And I just have a folder sitting aside somewhere, and then if I do need to know anything, I can quickly look it up. One other thing I would like to show you is if you are using a particular piece of fabric, let's just say this was the center. I wanted that piece of fabric as the center. Then I might measure out exactly where I want that motif to go and then cut out a hole. So when I'm lining up my fabric, let's show you. I'm just going to find something. Now, where would I want it? I would want it about there. going to mark out a circle there. Again, make a hole. So now, when I get my fabric, and I lay it out on the table, and I get my pattern piece, I can say, okay, this is where I want, right in the center. I want that piece there. So now when I put that on, I can say, yeah, that's right, that's looking really good. That will be the center of my bag. And then I would cut my pattern piece out. Cutting a hole in this doesn't do anything to the pattern. It's not changing the pattern in any way. All it's letting me do is see through. And that's only if I'm using something that's directional, or I've got, for instance, I might have a piece of embroidery. So I've embroidered on the fabric, and then I want to make sure that it's in the center of where I'm going to cut. So I can line up the top and bottom, make sure they're straight, and then I've got this. Now, that looks like it's in the center of my piece. The center of where. So you could rule those lines and measure it all out, or you could say, okay, I want a motif here every time. I'm going to cut a hole here. It doesn't matter. Just wherever you want it, that's where you put it. But that's another really good tip about how to line up fabric. Now, I have already done a tutorial on how to sew the Ruth handbag by Billy 50. I'll put a link in the description below, but I hope you like my video today on how to download, print and cut a PDF pattern. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this page and hit the little bell so you'll be notified every time a new video is released.